Huh? What's going on, guys?
Well-oiled machine.
It is I, V-Name Moreno, in the pre-show, before the free show, and I'm here with the one and only Gregory.
Mr. Masters.
Gregory Tepper.
Mr. Masters.
Mr. Masters.
My friends.
How's it going?
Well, I'm going great. The reviews are in from Monday's Masters preview. Boffo. Everyone loves Mr. Masters. It's great. It's my it's a gift and a curse, to be able to accurately predict the Masters. Anyway, well, enough of that. We have a very special guest here on the pre-show. Let's go over to the as yet unnamed, unsponsored, as my IFB is sneaking out of my hoodie. Let's go to the as yet unnamed, unsponsored Power Zone with Mallory Hartley. Turn on her mic.
There she is. There she is.
Try again.
There.
This was not planned.
Yeah, this is, here, let me give you a full idea.
Well, I can do it.
Okay, here comes Mallory Hartley with a story.
So our office right now is the equivalent of Antarctica in the coldest time of the year.
It's frigid.
So it's probably negative 60 degrees if I had to guess.
Okay, that's an accurate. I think that's an approximation. But
Yeah,
I hear you.
Right. So my desk is freezing right now. So I decided to come in here about 11:15 because the studio.
By the way, it's 71 outside. So it's not like it's cold outside. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you're in a building and it's like, oh, the heat's not on. It's not like it's 40 degrees outside. It's 71.
It gets over 70 degrees outside and they're like, let's crank down the air conditioning. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. But so I came in here with my blanket.
Less me, more Mallory.
And my coffee.
Sorry.
Thank you.
And just bundled up because it's much warmer in the studio than it is there.
I came in here.
I just didn't leave.
I came in here about 10 minutes ago to get ready for the show, and you were just sitting there, like, and you had a look on your face of like, oh no, I hope nothing's like seriously wrong. Like you had a look on your face, and you're just like, I'm cold. Like,
and you were very nice. You're like, are you okay?
I was concerned about my friend.
I was like, no, everything's fine. I'm just freezing.
Yeah.
I can't fully prepare to finish off this top 10 wide receivers list.
Wow.
In the class of 2026.
That's a lateral tease.
I'm freezing out there.
That's a lateral tease.
So.
Okay, but here's my challenge to you, okay?
Okay.
And I want to challenge your thinking here. It's Mallory Hartley, by the way, the host of Dave Campbell's Rising, co-host of WTF, etc. Our co-recruiting guru.
Co-recruiting guru, I like it.
We call her Little Crew.
Little Crew.
Little Crew. Let me ask you, though, because you are complaining about how cold it is out there, and I don't disagree with you. But here's the thing. I'm consistent in my stance. I think all cold sucks, okay? So why do you go skiing? Or you were going snowboarding recently, right? Mm-hmm. Explain that to me.
I'm not the one that hates the cold, though. That's more Pickle.
You just said you hate the cold. I'm asking for intellectual consistency here, Mallory.
When I am all bundled up
in
a ski suit with hand warmers, foot warmers, scarves, gloves, a helmet, because I wear my helmet. It's safer that way.
Yeah,
and I'm on the slopes, and I'm just enjoying my snowboarding down the mountain. I don't mind being cold. Okay. But when I'm in the office and I'm wearing short sleeves because it's 80 degrees outside, I don't want to be shivering.
Okay.
So I like the cold.
I do.
My favorite team in the entire world is up north.
Iowa.
When I go to football, yes. Kirk Ferentz. When I go up there for football games, I gotta bundle up. But at that point, I don't care because I'm having fun.
See, if
that makes sense.
That does make sense. I just think you're wrong. I think all cold is bad. Like, I think cold weather is like inherently deeply evil and a sign of God's vacancy. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess.
Like to me, nobody like, I want you to think about the idea of warmth. You know what I mean? Like,
So you are 100% choosing a beach vacation over a mountains vacation.
okay. I will do
100%
mountains.
of the time?
I will do mountains in the desert. I will do.
Then it's way too hot.
I'll do El Paso. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. I'll do Big Bend. I'll do
enough.
mountains there. But I am done pretending that cold weather is our friend. It sucks 100% of the time.
I know. And then cars get all messed up and
Okay. Snow.
Well, and then you gotta drip your faucets too. I mean, house things can go wrong.
Snow sucks. Snow is the most overrated thing we've got in the weather ecosystem.
You know who would disagree with that?
My wife.
Hank and Max.
Oh,
and
well,
Jen.
yeah, but they don't. Yeah, but that's the thing is that they do. Okay, Hank and Max don't mind being gross. They have a level of grossness to them that's just kind of static and ambient.
Right.
Snow is gross.
Oh no, it actually is. It's
super gross.
disgusting.
It looks.
You never know what's in there.
Do you know what it's like? It's like a dog in the sense that you have a dog and you're like, oh, that's so cute. Look at this cute puppy. And you never see the bathing that has to go on, how much they smell, how they'll go poop in the backyard. I'm not saying dogs aren't worth it. I'm saying that snow is like that in that at first glance, you're like, oh, look how pretty. And then 30 seconds later, it's like, oh, wait, it's disgusting.
Don't play in the yellow snow.
Well, that too. Yeah.
No, it is pretty gross. I mean, it's falling from the sky. You never know what those
You never know what's coming through the
snowflakes
sky.
are picking up on their way down, you know?
Here's the other thing, okay? And this is something, obviously, we disagree with. Mallory Hartley, by the way, here on the pre-show. We'll get to football in a second.
That's cheesy. I'm sorry.
I'm done skiing forever. I'm just done.
Oh,
okay?
Okay.
Because here's the thing. First of all, I'm old. I'm an old man. Second,
You hate the cold. Get that.
I hate the cold, okay?
She just nodded.
It is expensive. It is, in my opinion, the fun to work ratio of skiing is way out of whack.
Yeah.
In the sense that you gotta get all your stuff, all the crap on, load up, get your equipment, go up the hill for 5 minutes to come down. Do you know what I mean?
Well, and here's the thing too that I don't have to deal with right now, but you do. You've got 2 kids too.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're going skiing, you're probably going to bring them, and that's a whole other thing that you have to help with.
Yes, absolutely. And
Because putting them in snowsuits,
taking
that's
them
gonna be
anywhere,
tough.
doing
I know.
anything with these children.
I know.
Okay, we have to get on a plane tomorrow night to go
Yeah,
to St.
yep.
Louis. I'm already looking at that like a nightmare hellscape of just
Yeah.
I love my children. And also, taking them places is, you know what's a lot better than taking them places? Not taking them
Give them
places.
places. I know. So the moral of the story here is you hate the cold. You're never going skiing again.
The other thing about skiing, man, you can get hurt badly.
Oh, I know. Right? I've had 2 concussions from snowboarding. One of them was really bad. One of them was I was knocked out for a couple hours. My parents had to take me to the nearest care now. Turns out I had a concussion.
That checks out
swollen, busted
for her.
lip. And then I was like, hey, Dad, when can I go back? And he's like, okay.
It's Mallory Hartley. Follow her on Twitter at, what's your Twitter handle?
At Mallory Hartley.
Mallory Hartley on Twitter. And go Bulldogs. Hit the Theme Expo. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a show that is doing it again. I guess we'll just keep on doing it. Although I think today's a round number, right?
Yes.
How about that? My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the editor-in-chief of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of the places, or you'll listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is performed very admirably in Pickle's stead. I believe Pickle's back on Monday.
Pickle is back on Monday.
But we will tip our cap and say thank you to our once and future producer, Vianney Moreno. Hi, Vianney Moreno.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Doing great.
Good. Today is Thursday, April 10th, 2025. 231 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to...
I'm Scott.
What? No, it's not. I'm Scott's
Dang
birthday.
it.
I know. Sorry. Today is the birthday of Charlie Hunnam. Do we like him? Has he been canceled?
Who's that?
He's an actor. Oh, today's John Madden's birthday. Happy birthday, John Madden.
Happy birthday.
It is episode 1850. Round numbers. How about that? On today's show, folks. We have got Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
Thank you. Where we're going to take a look at how teams performed in close games in 2024. Texas high school football teams. Which teams were the best in close games in 2024? We'll talk about that. Then, this week in recruiting. And normally it's Greg Powers joining me in studio. Greg Powers is out today. He is climbing Mount Everest. We wish him all the best.
Yep.
But we are, instead, before he left, he taped it this week in recruiting because he knew you needed that good crew. You need a good crew. So we will hear from him and Mallory Hartley for This Week in Recruiting coming up here at the back half of the program, and we'll round it all out with a Masters update with me, Mr. Masters. So stick around with us. Do we have first four through the door?
We do have. We have Kyle Ramsey, Matthew
This is going
Matthew
great.
A, jersey number 69, and yep, that's it.
Awesome. Welcome in, friends. We do appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us. It is, of course, Thursday here. It's a beautiful Thursday across the Lone Star State, and what better way to celebrate Thursday than with our weekly segment, Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday. Math Tuesday.
It's Math Tuesday here on Texas Football Today, when we dive in the numbers of Texas high school football and bring you some fun facts. And I think today is going to be full of fun facts because what we're going to do is take a look at teams that were really good in close games. When you take a look at Texas high school football writ large, you will obviously have your fair share of blowouts, teams that go off and win a game by 45 points. But where you really want to make your hay is when the game is decided by one score. Now, we can certainly have a conversation as to whether or not that is luck, whether or not that is skill. We know that there are things that are relatively random in football. For example, fumble recovery rate is essentially random. The number of forcing a fumble is a skill. Holding on to the football and not fumbling is a skill. But once the ball is out, studies have shown that there is no discernible real skill behind recovering a football. That is essentially a random exercise that the offense and the defense across the spectrum of football have about a 50-50 shot of recovering that ball. But close games, certainly I would say that the jury is out, and we don't necessarily know what it is. So here's how I define a close game, is a one-score game, okay? A game decided by 8 points or fewer. And so what I did was I looked at I got the data, and I looked at every UIL Texas high school football game in 2024. Every single one of them. And there are a lot of them. In fact, I have this here. There were a lot of football games played. Let me see if I can find it real quick because that would be Very exciting. Okay. There were in 2024 a grand total of, pulling up the spreadsheet, it's going to be great. In 6A through 2A, there were 6,120 football games. 6,120 football games. In 1A in private schools, there were 2,103 football games. Okay? So you add those together, and you have a grand total of about 8,200 football games.
Wow.
Played in Texas in 2024. And I looked at all of them. Every single one. I went and watched the tape of every single one. That's not true. But I do have the score line for every single one. So what I did was I separated them between one-score games decided by 8 points or fewer, and non-one-score games decided by more than 8 points. We're going to focus on those games decided by 8 points or fewer because when the game is close, one play could really turn the game. And so there were some teams that found themselves in a lot of one-score games. For example, and they will not be here on this list, but for example, in 2024, Maypearl played in 8 one-score games. Think about that. I believe they only played 11 games, which means that 8 of their 11 games were decided by 8 points or fewer. 8 of them. And by the way, they went 4-4 in those games. So now I want to take a look at which teams were the best in one-score games in 2024. Let's take a look at the first graphic here. And there's a couple of schools that obviously stood out above the rest. Post. We've talked about them, about how they had a terrific turnaround. At least a big part of that turnaround is that they were excellent in one-score games. They were 6-0. Same thing goes with one of the other surprises in Texas high school football in 2024, Fort Worth Benbrook. The Bobcats went 6-0 in one-score games. You had nobody went 5-0, but you had a bunch of teams there at the bottom that went 4-0 in one-score games. Teams like Deer Park, Shamrock, Llano went 4-0. You've also got teams like Longview Pine Tree, 6-1. First of all, they played 7 one-score games. That's crazy. Grandview, same way, 6-1. Midlothian went 5-1 in one-score games. Odessa Permian, Mojo, went 5-1 in one-score games. So these were the best teams in one-score games. If the game was tight, at least in 2024, they came out on top. But I want to look at the opposite now. I want to look at the teams that struggled in one-score games in 2024. We'll go to the next slide. And there were 15 teams that went 0-4. Okay? Including Anna, Clint, Frisco Heritage, Langham Creek, Mission Veterans Memorial went 0-4. Saginaw Boswell went 0-4. San Antonio Warren, Mesquite Horn. 15 total teams went 0-4. You can see at the bottom, Forney and Laredo LBJ went 1-5 in one-score games. And then teams like San Angelo Central, Sanger, and Vega went 1-4 in one-score games. These were teams that when the game was close, the ball didn't bounce their way. However you want to phrase it, they weren't good at closing out games, if you believe it's a skill issue, or the ball didn't bounce their way in the sense that they didn't come away with these wins in close games. And so now what I want to do is I want to extrapolate, because we talked about how there's a trend. Maybe there are teams that are particularly good in one-score games just as a program. Or maybe it changes from year to year. So I wanted to expand it and go to look at the past 2 years, 2023 and 2024. And since in the last 2 years, there are a handful of teams that have been excellent in one-score games. At the top, the best team in one-score games in the last 2 years, the North Crowley Panthers. Ray Gates' ball club, the only team in UIL Texas high school football to be 7-0 in one-score games over the last 2 years. And then it's a Texas Football Today special at 6-0. The Coppell Cowboys, my alma mater, and the Llano Yellow Jackets, wow. Ashley Pickles' alma mater, both of them 6-0 in one-score games. I want to skip one and then go down to the bottom. There's 4 teams that have gone 7-1 in one-score games. Okay, Crandall, Grandview, Hitchcock, and Post. They're 7-1 in one-score games over the last 2 seasons. But then you see that team in the middle, Port Neches Groves. So Port Neches Groves is 9-1 in one-score games in the last 2 seasons. Let me extrapolate that even further, VNA. Port Neches Groves, under head coach Jeff Joseph, is 14-1 in one-score games.
Wow.
He's been the coach since 2022. They are 14-1. They finally lost a one-score game this year. They lost to Nederland, their rival, in Mid-County Madness.
Close game.
In a close game, in a one-score game. That's the first one-score loss and only one-score loss under Jeff Joseph at P&G. Now, I asked him about that because you may remember Jeff Joseph was on the gatefold cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. I just brought it up and he goes, yeah, that kind of went crazy on Facebook. Like when you, because I'm not trying to kiss my own butt here. I was the one who found that stat. And I put it out there and it kind of went viral on P&G football, like message boards and stuff. And it got back to him. And he had a really funny line when we were at the photo shoot. He said, yeah, all that means is that when I lose, I'm getting my butt kicked. Which I could see. I can see. That's also a very like Gary Joseph's kid thing to say, in my opinion. But yeah. Anyway, Port Neches Groves, like I remain flabbergasted. 14-1 in one-score games over 2 seasons or 3 seasons is crazy. Let's now look kind of over the last 2 years at the teams that have been on the short end of the stick when it comes to close games. Okay, poor Carrizo Springs. Carrizo Springs can't buy one. They're 0-4 each of the last 2 years. They're 0-8 overall in the last 2 seasons. Then you've got 5 teams that are 0-7, 4 teams rather, in Borger, Cumbie, Lubbock, Monterey, and Spearman, all 0-7 in one-score games. Paul Putin, Round Rock, McNeil not doing a whole lot better. They're 0-6 in one-score games. And then you see at the bottom, Hawkins, Leander Glen, Liberty, shout out to Hudson Standish, Odom, and San Antonio Madison. They're 1-7 in one-score games over the last 2 seasons. They can't catch a break, right? That stinks. So there's one more thing I wanted to do, because now we've got the 2023 data and the 2024 data. And I wanted to look at which teams have been able to reverse their fortune. Whether they were really bad at one-score games and then got really good, or vice versa. So first, I want to look at teams that were bad in one-score games in 2023 and then suddenly really good in one-score games in 2024 and see if there's like a trend line. Let's take a look at this. The teams that had the positive, or rather, let's go to the other one if you wouldn't mind. We'll go to the positive one-score game reversion. Okay? Odom. I can't believe Odom in 2023. They went 0-7 in one-score games. Like, you got to, like, at that point, you're born under a bad sign. You know what I mean? But they finally snapped it. They got one one-score win this past season. Look at Hondo and Katy Seven Lakes. These teams were 0-3 in one-score games last year. They reversed the whip, went 3-0 in one-score games this year. Laredo Nixon went from 0-2 to 4-1. Longview Pine Tree. We talked about them in the beginning, how they were one of the best teams in one-score games in 2024. Was not the case the year before. They were 0-3. Frisco Wakeland went from 0-4 to 4-1, and then Itasca turned it around too, went from 1-4 to 2-0. But it wasn't all sunshine and daffodils. Let's go back to the other one, if you wouldn't mind. These are the teams that saw negative reversion, like reversion to the mean here. Anna, when they won the state championship in 2023, they were nails in one-score games, 4-0. 2024 came back and bit them. They got their receipt, 0-4. Clint went 2-0 in one-score games this past in 2023 to 0-4. Cushing from 4-0 to 0-2. Fort Worth Wyatt. O.D. Wyatt went 2-0 to 0-4. Hallsville, Sabinal, they both went from 3-0 and turned that thing around to 0-3. What does all this mean? I think that if you take a look especially at those teams that are consistently good at one-score games, I think that there is a certain skill that comes along with it. That especially this is now me speculating. My guess would be that if you're pretty senior heavy, you're going to be pretty good at one-score games because you're going to be able to hold your nerve. So I look at those teams like Port Neches Groves. I look at those teams like North Crowley. I look at teams like Coppell, like Llano, teams that have been consistently good in one-score games. But I do think there is a fair amount of luck that comes into it. And a fair amount of one or two plays are going to turn in the game. Because you're looking at a team like Anna, right? Anna didn't go from state champion to cellar dweller, right? They went from state champion to still pretty good. But they went from 4-0 to 0-4 in one-score games. I think that a lot of it there is a good element of luck here. But there is some skill, I think, in one-score games. I think a lot of it probably comes down to coaching and senior leadership. That's my guess on it. But anyway, there's a look at one-score games across the state of Texas here on Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
We are Texas Football Today. We are here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Hey, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. We are working on the 2025 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football right now. I was working on it right before. Working on it right before I came on the air. If you want that magazine in your mailbox before it hits newsstands, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. It makes a great gift as well. Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Oh, and by the way, besides the magazine, you get a year of Dave Campbell's Texan Life. There are, soccer's in the state championships right now, but we still got baseball and softball cooking on Texan Live. And then, of course, if you subscribe, you get football season, baby. You get hundreds and hundreds of live Texas high school football games, including hundreds of live Texas high school football playoff games. TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Makes a great gift. TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Coming up here in just a moment, Mallory Hartley and Greg Powers on the latest recruiting news from across the state of Texas. But first, a word from these valued partners.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days, with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wing's drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
Joined out here by Hayden Gunner at Denton High School. Man, it's a big day for you. You got your decision coming right now.
After a lot of thinking, with the family talking, stressing out.
Let's see exactly where Malik Hawkins is going to be heading.
First off, I want to start by thanking God. Without him, I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't be blessed with all these opportunities.
Got 5 schools he's choosing between. We're about to find out who it's going to be. Got your teammates, coaches, family, friends surrounding you, so you couldn't have a bigger stage right here to announce it on. So without further ado, we're going to go to the man right here, Kobe Foreman. Who's it going to be?
I will be attending.
I'll be committed to the University of Oklahoma.
University of Texas A&M.
Stanford University.
The University of Oklahoma. Yeah.
Every legend starts with a vision. For Dave Campbell, that vision was clear. Tell the story of Texas football like never before. In 1960, he built something no one had before, a magazine that became the Bible of Texas football. Coaches, players, and fans didn't just read it, they lived by it. His words shaped the game. His vision built a legacy. And his name? It will always be written in the story of Texas football. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, where legends begin.
I'm Mallory Hartley. That's Greg Powers, and it's This Week
in Cruton.
It is This Week in Recruiting, presented by our best friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express, making people happy all over the state of Texas.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Chicken Express is delicious. They got great chicken tenders.
Do you like the spicy chicken tenders? Which one? Do you get half and half? Do you get spicy or do you get just regular?
I get the regular and the spicy. You know, the regular to me, they're golden fried and crispy hot. A Texas gem that hits the spot.
Shout out to ChatGPT for that too.
ChatGPT coming through.
They also like Chicken Express, clearly.
Everybody does.
Who wouldn't? All right, it's This Week in Recruiting, presented by Chicken Express. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. And we're going to start with the prospect on the rise. Prospect on the rise this week. We're going out east to Beast, Texas, and we're going to be talking about New Boston 2026 running back Ashton Roden. And his offer list kind of exploded this past week. He picked up offers from Minnesota, NC State, Houston, Arkansas, and TCU, and he already has a couple of official visits scheduled this summer to Kansas State, Texas Tech, and Michigan State.
Yeah, Houston, another school maybe to keep an eye on for Ashton Roden. 1,337 yards and 14 touchdowns to earn the most outstanding offensive player in District 10-4A Division II last year. He's already rated as the number 10 player in our DCTF running back rankings.
That's right.
So I'm feeling pretty good that his offer list is popping off this week. But I have to say, he kind of first popped up on your radar when Michigan State offered him a few weeks back.
Yeah, of course. But I was going to say number 10 on the running backs list, which is a very, very deep list.
It's a lucrative list to be on this year.
We've talked about it over and over and over again on our channels that the 2026 running back class in the state of Texas is deep and filled with talent.
No doubt about it. And the thing that makes Roden special to me is his ability to hit the open hole with authority and really makes defenses pay. He can gash defenses out of the backfield. He has that quick first step acceleration. So I would say he hits the hole very aggressively is like one of the things that pops off to me about his tape.
Absolutely. Prospect on the rise, New Boston 2026 running back Ashton Roden. Let's talk about the commit of the week. The commit of the week, we're going just down south to Waxahachie and talking about 2026 wide receiver Cohen Brown as he committed to USC last week over programs like Missouri, SMU, Baylor. He had a couple of official visits scheduled to a couple of those programs. 6 foot 190, 1,100 yards receiving last year and 11 touchdowns in his junior campaign. And his speed, man, is one of the things that jumps out to me on his tape.
Cohen Brown is really special. I feel like he's in the mix to be rated as one of the top wide receivers in the state. I think he's right there in the mix to be in the top 50, which would make him a 4-star prospect. And USC's doing a tremendous job in Texas. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way because he's not the only commit that they got this year from this week from the Lone Star State. They also picked up a commitment from Prosper defensive tackle Jake Johnson. And here recently they picked up a commitment from Jaimion Winfield from Richardson. So this Texas high school football class is really impressive. And I have to think that even though he's been there now for a while, that Lincoln Riley has built up his name with a lot of these recruits that are going to be coming out here over the next couple classes for his time at OU and what he did there, building relationships in this area. And I think USC is going to continue to be a big factor when it comes to recruiting not only the Dallas area, which is where these 3 commitments came from, but also down into Houston
in the state
as well.
Of Texas,
the state
right.
of Texas.
Well, aren't they pushing for the #1 recruiting class too in 2026
They're,
now?
I mean, they should be. That's all going to be predicated on the numbers game because those rankings nationally are really skewed heavily towards how many prospects you're going to sign.
Right.
And I have to admit, I'm not a USC expert, so I don't know if they need 10 recruits or if they need 25. But their star average is really good right now.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
these dudes can play. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised at all. You see Cohen Brown on some of the national sites where he's rated at now. Don't be surprised if he climbs up towards the top of those lists because he's not getting enough credit for what he's done. You mentioned the 1,100 yards. That's an 11-6A.
Right.
The best football district in America. So if you're a USC fan watching this right now, you don't know that much about Texas high school football. Cohen Brown went for 1,100 yards in the same district that has DeSoto and Duncanville and
Cedar Hill.
All these teams. So this is a legit dude. His national ranking will catch up with his talent, and people will find out about Cohen Brown. USC fans ought to be pumped.
Cohen Brown, the 2026 wide receiver out of Waxahachie, going to play some Big Ten football at
It's still weird to say
USC.
it. That's so
I know,
weird still.
It's strange.
I'm never going to get used to it. Maybe over time.
Maybe over time. All right, let's round it all out. We're going to talk about our underclassmen of the week, and we're going to go down to the Houston area and talk about Kingwood. 2027 offensive lineman, another Brown. Kennedy Brown, though, this point. 6'5", 285 pounds. He started every game at right tackle. 602 snaps played, 0 pressures allowed, only 1 sack allowed, and that earned him to be on the first team all-district honors. And he picked up an offer from North Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, and Auburn, all in the span of last week, and that brings his total offer count up to 30.
Great time to feature Kennedy Brown. He hit an offer number 30 this week, getting the Iron Bowl rivals to be his latest 2 scholarship offers. Maybe by the time you're watching this, he's already picked up another offer and he's at 31, but that's okay. We're going to celebrate number 30 here. He also took a visit to Clemson. And Clemson's real stingy with their offers. So if they have you on campus, that means that they're really seriously recruiting you and you're a big time target for them as well. Well, Kennedy Brown his recruitment has started to pop off, and I want to give a shout out to a special friend of mine down at Kingwood, and that's Coach Bentz. And he's really put me on to Kennedy Brown early in this recruiting process before he was a big thing. And Kingwood is one of these schools in Texas that's really budding with young talent right now. And if you want to go out and check it out, they've got a good program. So go ahead and get my boy Coach Bentz down there at Kingwood. He'll get you right. He's the recruiting coordinator down there for those guys. So Kennedy Brown is a big time prospect. He's going to get all the offers, and he'll be in the mix to be the number 1 player in the state.
Well, and speaking of tough districts to play in, I mean, you've got the DFW District of Doom up here, but the Houston District of Doom is 23-6A down in the Houston area, and that's filled with Humble, Atascocita, Galena Park, North Shore, and Kingwood. So he's playing in one of the toughest districts at the highest classification in the state of Texas.
Yeah, and he was playing a lot of right tackle last season, but he has massively long arms, huge arms. This dude can really mirror defensive ends extremely well. He looks like a basketball power forward playing offensive tackle. So I think whenever he kicks over left tackle long term, that's the spot that he'll stick at. He has true left tackle potential. Those guys aren't easy to find, no matter where you go. A lot of these guys that are playing tackle in high school will kick inside to play guard when they get to college. So if you can find a tackle that has the arm length that you're looking for, the power that you're looking for, and the tape that you're looking for, that puts him into an elite category. And it not only puts him into an elite category for college programs, it puts him into an elite category for NIL money. These offensive tackles are making bank now.
You know who always has the power?
Let's go.
It's the director of recruiting, Greg Powers.
I thought you were going to say yourself.
Texas football. Not myself. I'm talking about you.
Appreciate that.
It's the director of recruiting at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Greg Powers. You can find all of our fine work. I can say that now instead of your fine work at texasfootball.com/recruiting.
Thanks, guys. Greg Powers, Mallory, Hartley, Big Crute, Little Crute, putting together the Crutin for This Week in Crutin. Find more at texasfootball.com/recruiting from Greg Powers and Mallory Hartley. Good stuff going on there. It's now time for Final Thoughts, America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts. And V&A, I'm not sure what you are thinking we should do for Final Thoughts. What do you think?
I think we should have a Masters update.
A Masters update? But that would require the presence of Mr. Masters. Hello, friends. It's me, Mr. Masters, here with your Masters update. The tournament is going on right now in Georgia. I found this out. VNA. It's going on in Augusta, Georgia.
Oh yeah, Georgia. Mm-hmm.
There's lots of guys playing. We're gonna check the leaderboard now. In the lead, tied for the lead, would be Scotty Scheffler.
Okay.
Who's 3 under through 11. Some guy named Hatton, Tyrell Hatton. He's British. He's three under. And so is Justin Rose. Justin Rose is also 3 under par.
Okay.
These are golfers. They seems like they're doing good. So it's going great for them. They're in Georgia again, where the tournament is being played. Is the Masters is the tournament going on?
Yes.
Any other follow-up questions?
I can predict where it will be next.
Are you ready to put that prediction out there on wax?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think,
go for it.
I think it'll be in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. For those who missed Monday, I predicted Patrick Cantlay to win the Masters. Patrick Cantlay is 1 over through 3, just 4 strokes back of the lead. It's early. It's really early. He's only played 3 holes, and they play at least like 10 holes today. So it'll be great.
How's our guy Rory?
How is Rory doing? Rory McIlroy, a Northern Irish professional golfer. Rory McIlroy is even par through 1 hole. 1 hole. And this has been your Masters update from me, Mr. Masters. Good luck with your golf, guys. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Greg Powers and Mallory Hartley for being our guests. And thanks to Empty Chair for being the real star of the show. Thanks, Empty Chair. For VNA Moreno, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you Monday on Texas Football Today.
Bye, guys.